What's going on, everybody? So in this video, we are going to be covering what's going on in the NFT markets, as well as some upcoming mints you definitely don't want to miss out on. And let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, first thing we got to talk about is what's going on with Bitcoin Ordinals. And as you know, people have been minting NFTs on Bitcoin. We're not going to go into the technical details of exactly how that happens. Just imagine it as a NFT on Bitcoin. And so right now, Magic Eden seems to be like the one that's kind of leading the charge when it comes to buying and selling Bitcoin NFTs on their marketplace. And we can kind of see right here, the two that I kind of want to talk about today is DeGods and Deadjira, right? I mean, the first one to really like put this on the map was Yuga Labs when they sold their generative art as a Bitcoin NFT. And then DeGods went after that as a PFP. The Yuga Labs one isn't on Magic Eden, right? So they're not buying and selling here. You know, I guess DeGods is going to be number one over here. And right now, you know, the price is 0.9 Bitcoin, which at the time of this recording is going to be 25K. So pretty good job that they're able to sustain the price and keep people interested in wanting to hold this grail in some sorts, right? Now, Deadjira, which is another project, Project Gojira, which has been around for quite a while, recently dropped their version of the Bitcoin NFT, and the supply is going to be 107. Okay, so for Project Gojira, they did a Dutch auction, meaning that the price started really high, and then it just went down, down, down until people are willing to buy. So the price that they sold it at is going to be 1.35, which is not bad, which is 2.5K. They sold like 100 or so of them. Still like decent revenue, right? And all they had to do was create more NFTs and create another collection on Bitcoin and kind of capture that opportunity. So the price is, you know, more or less the same. It's a little bit lower than what it was. It's 0.15 Bitcoin, but they say this is going to be the highest level of membership into their community, 107 Deadjiras. And I'm sure, you know, their biggest supporters who hold a lot of Gojira and probably their Genesis collection also want to support and buy this one as well. I mean, for me, observing from outside looking in, it's just kind of proving that, you know, if there's a chain, whether it's Bitcoin or if it's going to be something in the future where there's some demand on it, projects who are able to take advantage of that momentum and move over to that chain can generate some revenue from minting those NFTs on other chains. And just the fact that you're one of the first to go on another chain, that is pretty much the narrative most people are going to use in order to sell their NFTs at higher prices on those chains, right? So being first actually does matter in NFTs. If you just think about like Solana early days, right? If you're just first in Solana, even if you didn't have a good project, just the fact that you're first and you're somewhat better than the competition at that time, especially during a bull run, you're just minting out instantly, right? So just keep that in mind, especially if you're a builder, because that's just the way the land goes. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some upcoming mints, some new stuff to put on your radar. Recently, I got to know this project called Weebox, and I actually have talked to some of their key team members on their team. And essentially what these guys are doing is they're taking Web2 anime IP and bringing it into Web3. So if you go on their Twitter, you know, there's going to be a lot of these like anime, I suppose, memes or content. But when you scroll down, you kind of dig a little deeper, you actually see, and this kind of went under the radar, that they're going to be collaborating with Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is a pretty big IP in anime, so I'm surprised that not more people are kind of talking about this. And from my understanding, I don't want to give away too much, but they have more in the pipeline. Right now, they just have a Discord, so I recommend just give them a follow if you kind of want to follow along. Now, I don't have any affiliation with them. They probably will give the Parallax community some whitelist, so if you want to join the Parallax, make sure to pick up a Parallax Genesis. But this is something I'm just personally following along because it's interesting that, you know, they have like Web2 IPs coming into Web3. All right, next project we're going to talk about is going to be Memeland Captainz. Captainz have kind of been on the rise over the past few days. You can kind of see this chart over here. If you're looking in the past 90 days on OpenSea, kind of just been going up. And the reason is because a lot of people believe in the team. They believe in meme coin is going to be a success. So if we kind of like break it down, show you guys like how I'm thinking about these things. I personally feel like Memeland, it's pretty good when it comes to getting people excited and buying the NFTs in anticipation for the meme coin. You look on their Twitter, it's all about the coin, right? So the coin right now is their picture profile on their Twitter. Everybody knows that there's a coin coming. You go into OpenSea and you look in the description, explore the broken seas and search for a new legendary treasure known as Memeland. Join in their quest, glory, fortune, love, and of course memes, right? I'm pretty sure they changed it. Before it was like very focused on meme coin. They probably changed it. You know, there's probably like guidelines when it comes to like putting out a token, to be honest. Instead of the token, now they're kind of advertising the treasure. And so at this point, people know that hold Captainz, if you hold some potatoes, form a team, things like that, you're going to be questing to get these treasure maps. Based on the treasure maps or different rarities, similar to like how Blur did their boxes, maybe you will get a higher allocation of tokens that are maybe going to be airdropped to you, right? Or you can claim them. And so that's pretty much the speculation. And so people are like, all right, if I get these Captainz, get these potatoes, form a team, get an MVP, then, you know, I'm going to get more maps compared to everybody else. And because if I can exponentially get more maps and rarer maps than other people, then maybe I will get a higher allocation. And then when the token comes, you can do what you want with that. You can hold it for the future. If you believe in the ecosystem, you can sell it if you want. And some people would just want to buy it because they want to trade. So somehow that all works. And so that's pretty much the game. And I think a lot of people believe in the team's ability to generate the demand for that token, just like how back when Blur dropped their token, a lot of people were excited about that. And then what happens to the token after? Well, you have to build an ecosystem, right? So that's always challenging, but this is definitely a case study, especially if you're building a project, on how to get people interested over time, get them to hold, get rewarded to hold in anticipation of something. And you're probably going to see more teams take inspiration from this motto in the future. All right, speaking of getting rewarded to hold, we're going to talk about Moonbirds real quick. So they actually had this thing called Diamond Exhibition. And so what it is they're rewarding people who have their Moonbirds and they staked it or nested, and they're considered diamond Moonbird holders because they've been holding it since day one, I believe. And if you were a day one diamond nest person, you're basically going to get airdrop some art. So they are going to drop a collection of 10,000 digital artworks by 22 artists, and there's the founder of Renga who's doing this, and you know, you can scroll down and look at all the different artists. These are going to be free for the diamond holders. Moonbirds and Proof is all about contemporary art for the most part. So here you go. You know, they're rewarding you with art. 10,000 supply is quite a lot of art. The thing that is missing, or the thing that makes it difficult for people who want to keep holding, there's no big prize at the end of the tunnel, right? Okay, so for example, right, if we hold the Moonbirds and then we're diamond holders, and then just out of the blue, we're like, okay, now we're going to get a drop. So maybe we're going to get rewarded for holding in the future, right? Now, the thing is, it's not clear how valuable these drops will be, especially the 10,000 supply. Maybe some will be more rare, maybe you'll get lucky, and I understand the whole game mechanic of that. The problem is that when you're comparing blue chips, you're actually competing against like Memeland in a sense when it comes to people's Ethereum, right? So for Memeland, they're basically saying like, hey, you know, we have this token, and the token market is significantly bigger than the NFT market. So if you hold our NFTs, then maybe you'll get more tokens, maybe speculation, right? And so that's something that people can really buy into, because they've definitely seen other projects like Bored Ape Yacht Club drop ApeCoin, and that was a whole big deal because people were just like given free money. And so people kind of make that comparison, and that's why people would be bullish on Memeland, because they're like, oh, potentially like I'm gonna get airdrop something, right? But for Moonbirds, it's a little difficult because most likely because they're based in the US, and it's more difficult to get around the rules or have clarity even on what the rules are when it comes to dropping a token. Is that a security? I think all teams in the US definitely have that challenge. And then Memeland is based in Hong Kong, right, where there's different regulation and rules when it comes to tokens. And so depending on where the team is at, that actually gives you a pretty good idea of what they're thinking about doing, and if they were thinking about it, what would be stopping them, right? And so those are like the macro things you got to pay attention to. Sure, anyone can drop a token, but can they do it in a way that won't get them in trouble? Right? Very important. And because Moonbirds doesn't necessarily have a token, and the game, NFT game, kind of runs that way, it's going to be hard to convince like a lot of people to get into this art, because you have to enjoy the art, right? Whereas a token, anybody, you don't even have to care what the token's for, as long as you think the price is going to go up and people will buy it. So that's just kind of my observation on that. But still, you know, pretty cool what Moonbirds is doing. I think someone has to do something different, not just always dropping tokens, right? So I definitely do respect it. So the next piece of news that we have is going to be Azuki. So Azuki teased that they are going to be in Las Vegas for June 2023. And I was trying to look for, you know, what NFT events are in June. I didn't see any. So I'm curious to know, like, are they just going to do their own separate event and expect people to come? Or is there something I'm missing? And there's a reason why all the Azuki holders are already going to be there, just like how there's NFT NYC and NFT New York. So I'm not sure, but there's going to be RSVP details soon. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of people will probably come because Azuki wasn't really at NFT LA. So they probably have to make it up somehow. And you can kind of see this rabbit character over here. So they're teasing something about a rabbit. And so there's a lot of like Easter eggs, some of the art and stuff like Azuki has posted. Like there's this rabbit over here, Yuki was here. There's like these storyboards they put up. This character here has the rabbit in the eye, and then the rabbit sitting here on their Himalaya map. So they're definitely using this rabbit theme a lot, and potentially maybe it's going to be a new IP, maybe it's going to be an airdrop, maybe it's, who knows what it's going to be, right? But that's the game, speculation. And Azuki, you know, a lot of people bought the floor Azukis all the way to 15 ETH over the weekend. So hey man, it's working. And so with that said, that's everything we got to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you want to learn more about NFTs, make sure to pick up a Parallax Genesis. Links in the description, where you're going to get access to our Parallax Academies, our group of NFT traders and investors, where you can talk and learn more about NFTs, and also access to me if you're interested in chatting with me. That's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.